You wake up exhausted, even though you slept 8 hours. You scroll through social media, comparing your life to others, feeling that familiar emptiness. You say yes to things you want to say no to. You laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You're living, but you're not alive. And somewhere deep inside, beneath all the noise and distraction, a part of you is screaming. A part of you that you've been ignoring for so long, you've almost forgotten it exists. The real you, the one you abandoned. Carl Jung called this the greatest tragedy of human existence. Not failure, not suffering, but the betrayal of the self. The slow, silent abandonment of who you really are in exchange for who you think you should be. You learn this early. Smile when you're sad. Be polite when you're angry. Don't make waves. Don't be too much. Fit in, belong, survive. And piece by piece, year by year, you traded your authentic self for acceptance. You became what others needed you to be, and in the process, you lost yourself entirely. This is not dramatic. This is epidemic. Most people are living as strangers to themselves. Jung described the persona as the mask we wear for the world, the socially acceptable version of ourselves. The performance we put on to navigate relationships, careers, society. And the persona is necessary. You can't function without it. But here's the trap. The persona was meant to be a tool. Instead, it became your identity. You wore the mask so long, you forgot it was a mask. Now, when you look in the mirror, you don't see yourself. You see the character you've been playing. And the real you, buried so deep you're not sure it even exists anymore. This is self-betrayal, not a single dramatic moment of abandonment, but 1,000 small compromises, 1,000 times you chose comfort over truth, safety over authenticity, approval over integrity, and now you're hollow. Successful maybe, functional certainly, but hollow. How do you know if you've abandoned yourself? The signs are everywhere, once you know what to look for. You feel exhausted for no reason, because maintaining a false self requires enormous energy. You're constantly performing, constantly vigilant, constantly making sure the mask doesn't slip. It's exhausting. You feel disconnected from your emotions. Because real emotions threaten the persona, so you learn to suppress them, to intellectualize them, to explain them away. Now you're numb. You go through the motions, but you don't feel anything. You struggle to make decisions. Because you've spent so long doing what others want, you don't know what you want anymore. Every choice requires consulting the committee in your head. What will they think? What's the right answer? What's safe? And you're paralyzed. You feel like a fraud. Because, on some level, you know you're performing. You know the person people see isn't really you. And you live in constant fear that someone will discover the truth, that underneath all the accomplishments and all the smiles, you're empty. Jung warned that the abandoned self doesn't disappear. It goes into the shadow, the unconscious realm where everything you reject about yourself goes to live, and from there, it haunts you. It appears in your dreams as figures you fear or desire. It emerges in moments of stress as reactions you can't control. It manifests as depression, anxiety, inexplicable sadness. Your psyche is trying to tell you something. You've abandoned yourself, and it's killing you from the inside. The self you rejected doesn't want revenge. It wants recognition. It wants integration. It wants you to come home. But you're too afraid. Because coming home means facing everything you've been running from, the anger you never expressed, the desires you never honored, the truth you never spoke, the person you never allowed yourself to be. So how do you come back to yourself? It starts with honesty, brutal, uncomfortable, liberating honesty. Stop lying. To others, yes, but more importantly, to yourself. When someone asks how you are, and you say fine when you're not, that's a betrayal. When you laugh at something that isn't funny, that's a betrayal. When you stay silent when you want to speak, that's a betrayal. Every small lie adds another brick to the prison wall. Start saying no. Without explanation, without apology, without guilt. No is a complete sentence. And every time you say no when you mean no, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You prove to your abandoned self that it's safe to come back, that you'll protect it this time. Listen to your body. Your body never lies. When your stomach tightens in certain situations, that's information. When your chest feels heavy around certain people, that's information. When you feel energized or drained, that's information. Your body knows what your mind refuses to acknowledge. But here's the part most people miss. Coming back to yourself isn't just about reclaiming the good parts. It's about integrating the shadow, the parts you deemed unacceptable, the anger, the selfishness, the darkness. Jung said you don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. That means facing the parts of yourself you've spent a lifetime rejecting. The rage you inherited from your father, the neediness you learned from your mother, the manipulation, the pettiness, the weakness. It's all there. It's all you. And until you integrate it, until you accept that you're not just the good persona you present to the world, you'll never be whole. You'll keep projecting your shadow onto others, judging in them what you can't accept in yourself, living half a life, half conscious, half human. When you stop abandoning yourself, everything changes. Not overnight, not dramatically, but profoundly. Relationships shift. Some people leave, the ones who are attached to your persona, not your true self, and that's okay. Better to be alone and real than surrounded and hollow. New people arrive, people who see you, not the performance, you. And those connections are different, deeper, actual. Your energy returns, because you're not wasting it on maintaining a false self anymore. You're not performing, you're being. And being requires far less energy than pretending. Your purpose clarifies, because you can finally hear your inner voice, the one that's been trying to guide you all along, the one that knows what you're here to do, what only you can do. And suddenly, life has direction, not because you found it, because you stopped drowning it out. You've been abandoning yourself your whole life, not because you're weak, but because you learned it was the only way to survive. But you're not a child anymore. You don't need their approval to exist. You don't need to perform to deserve love. You don't need to betray yourself to belong. The real you is still there, waiting, in the shadow, in the silence, in the parts of yourself you've been too afraid to face, and it's time to go back. It's time to come home. So here's my question. What's one truth you've been afraid to speak? What's one part of yourself you've been hiding? Comment below. Let's bring it into the light together. If this hit you, subscribe. Because the journey back to yourself is the most important journey you'll ever take. And it starts right now.